Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. It is Saturday, so I have my baby with me. And also, I would like to model how cute this baby box outfit is, even though she's literally too small to be wearing it. And I'm pretty sad that my mom actually took this back from Finland with her when she came to visit, because basically the baby has only worn this outfit. Now, literally, this is the second day, and I'm like squeezing her into it because it's kind of too small. But anyway, I am going to make that video about what it's like being a parent in Finland versus being a parent in the US. We'll see how this goes with the baby because she wants my attention right now. I don't know how she feels about being included in these videos. Anyway, okay, so I feel like I'm going to try to make this as general as I can at the beginning, and then beyond that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about my own personal experience. So, let's start in general. The US is notorious for having terrible maternity leave policies. That would definitely be true. Maternity leave policies are generally about 3 months on average, I would say. Part of it is covered by the state, and then part of it is covered by your company that you're working for. And that's if you have like a proper job. Okay, so there's that. In Finland, as you know, you can, and you're kind of low-key encouraged to stay at home with the baby for up to 1 year. And then you would be encouraged to, yes, she wants to contribute. You would then be encouraged to, I wouldn't say encouraged, you have the option for staying at home for another 2 to 3 years and still receive some sort of government funding. So from what I understand, that amount of funding is not so great that it would necessarily deter people from re-entering the workforce, especially because daycare is so affordable. But, again, in general terms, this is like kind of how this works. Obviously, other complications, and this is just, baby or no baby, is health insurance. I'm gonna admit I'm a terrible parent right now, and high-key, my baby does not have US health insurance, which is sort of a problem. This is especially a problem with, like, vaccines and stuff, but as I understand, I can just bring her to a clinic to get those. I have also thought about just, like, getting them in Finland. But, yeah. So, fun fact, in Finland, healthcare for children is free until the age of, like, 18, I guess. And, in the US, I mean, it's the same as, like, being an adult. Like, it's not free, and you have to, like, put them on your plan and stuff that you have. So that part is annoying. So other cool things, like, you get all these benefits for having a baby in Finland. Like, you can ride the buses for free, and they're free on the trains and stuff. Now, maybe that's true with trains in the US. I actually was just looking at train tickets this morning to go from, like, New Jersey to Maryland. They're $200. I mean, it's a last-minute ticket, but still, this is why everybody drives. So that's, like, pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, this baby is pretty easy for the most part. She probably wants the pacifier. This is how this goes. Okay. Nice. Cool. Okay. So, anyway, I guess we can focus less on her and more on me at this point, but she's kind of in the frame, so whatever. Okay, whatever. All right. Now, so, like, getting all the free stuff and, like, the fact that they really just kind of encourage both women and men. This is the interesting thing, like, the mandatory, like, use it or lose it paternity leave that exists in, like, not just Finland, but the Nordic countries in general, versus in the US, like, they do have paternity leave, but I think it's, like, 1 month. It's not the same amount of time as the woman, which is, like, what they advocate for in Finland. Now, that's all, like, general stuff. I mean, my own personal experience is quite different, considering I have absolutely no relatives in Finland, and also was, like, partnerless in Finland. So that's, like, not convenient in terms of having at least one other person to share the responsibility of having a baby with. So, in that sense, like, it's definitely easier having a baby, like, in like in the US for me right now, just in terms of like I have so many different people who can watch her at any given moment if I need them to, whereas in Finland I was really running a one-man show, so it was a lot harder. I know I have friends and stuff, but it's kind of not the same as like leaving your baby with your relatives. So, that's pretty hard, and one of the things I talk about is until daycare is an option, which doesn't happen until 9 months, like, it's going to be pretty hard for me to spend extended periods of time in Finland like I, had been used to. So, what other things are happening here? I don't know. I mean, in general, I like my apartment and stuff and feel more comfortable living in Finland because I have more, like, autonomy over my life. As I mentioned many times before, I have like an ethnically Italian family, and they're very into not minding their own business and micromanaging the lives of the children. It's very annoying. So like half of the items that I had in this house before I moved out are like gone. Or before I moved out, this place was waiting for me to come back, essentially. And yeah, so now every time I go in the kitchen, I like low-key get super stressed out because I can't find more items that are then missing. Also, like, this whole place is super janky, like nothing like closes properly, including the dishwasher. And this just makes me really appreciate Finnish architecture more than I already did now that I have my own small janky apartment. And you're like, how many things could possibly be wrong with one apartment? Apparently a lot. So that's all really fun. I like how in general everything's very like standardized in Finland and very sturdy. Here it's totally not. So yeah. But yeah, so I think like having family who is supportive is pretty important. But, I think the difference is, like, needing to work in the U.S. and then, being, like, with family, like, okay, cool. But, like, nice. It's time for a diaper change. In Finland, I wasn't working at all, so, like, being a one-man show was not, like, the end of the world. It was, like, a little bit annoying sometimes, but, like, it was manageable. I'm not saying my life here isn't manageable. It's definitely manageable. It's just I don't like it as much as my life in Finland. Like, duh, that's the whole point of this channel. Was thinking more about, could I just get a job in Helsinki and then just, like, stay in Finland? But I also feel like it's sad for the baby to, like, not have any relatives. So, yeah, these are all the things. So, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. I really want my kid to be bilingual, so, like, the likelihood of being in the U.S. for her entire childhood, highly unlikely, because that's, like, my biggest value, I would say, is, like, making sure this kid is not monolingual with English. And I'm obviously only a native speaker of English, so that has to come from somebody who's not me. Yeah, that was also the dad's responsibility, but too bad that's not happening. Yeah, it's like also surprisingly difficult to find people from other countries in the US who like want to speak not in English, so that's another problem. I've thought about trying to get like babysitters who speak different languages. Probably Spanish would be the easiest here. I'm gonna think more about that. But yeah, so it kind of just depends. Like for me, my own experience is that all my relatives are here, so obviously that skews some things. But in general, I would say I like to quote my one friend who said, "Parenting in Finland is parenting on easy mode." Amen to that. Well, that's where I'm going to leave this, and hopefully it was somewhat informative, although definitely very biased by my own personal experience. Anyway, I'm going to try to go be productive today, even though it's a Saturday. Until next time, bye.